Coming up in the news, President Akufo-Addo charges armed forces to help clamp down on activities of illegal miners.
International Forum.
Hello, good evening, and thank you so much for joining us. This is News Hour. We are live on GBC24 and GTV. My name is Akmene Avo Ajaja.
And my name is Evans Champon. Also in the studio to help with the sign language interpretation is Clement Sam. Now we begin here in Accra, where the President Nana Akufo-Addo has told the Ghana Armed Forces to stay professional in the face of complex and tricky security challenges.
At the presentation of colors to the Armored Regiment of the Ghana Armed Forces, the President also reminded the forces that the Ghanaian public is looking up to them to play a role in the fight against illegal mining or galamsey.
With the colors red, black and yellow, the Armored Reconnaissance Regiment of the Ghana Armed Forces is recognized for the gallant roles played in the battlefield for over 5 decades. The unit fought in the Yasantwa War, Lebanon, Côte d'Ivoire, Congo, Liberia, Sierra Leone, among others. The practice of using colors dates back to the time of King Charles II in the 17th century, when the colors of the regiment were used as position markers or as rallying points in battles. The purpose of the colors was to, among other things, indicate a rallying point in the event of an attack by the enemy. Colors are awarded to units to commemorate their achievement in combat, training, administrative efficiency, and service to the community. Although they are no longer carried into battle, colors are still symbolic, constituting a regiment's honor and representing its devotion to duty. This is the first color presentation by President Akufo-Addo. The President paid glowing tribute to the Ghana Armed Forces for their role in protecting the country's territorial borders and in peacekeeping operations. He said the government will tool and support contemporary training methods to ensure the Ghana Armed Forces continue to be one of the most professional units in the world.
As we present you the Armored Recce Regiment with your own colors, I urge you to revere it and be guarded always by its undying principles of perseverance, unity, and bravery in the protection of lives and property and the defense of the territorial sovereignty of our beloved Ghana. To the commanding officer, officers, men, women, and civilian employees of the Recce Regiment, I am confident that you will honor and defend these colors at all times. The Recce Regiment in the course of the year is set for deployment in unit in Ghana's battalion in the UNIFIL mission in Lebanon. It is heartwarming to note that our troops are held in high esteem by the world, and Ghanaian peacekeeping soldiers on international peacekeeping missions continue to make our nation proud. I've been informed that on 3rd May 2017, barely 3 weeks ago, Ghana Bat 5, Ghana's contingent of troops who are part of the UN's mission in South Sudan, put up an impressive display of bravery and tact as they repelled an armed attack on the temporary camp for internally displaced persons at Lear in South Sudan. I am confident that these acts of bravery and skill will spur on the Armored Recce Regiment towards achieving even greater feats during its one-year duty tour in South Lebanon.
The President urged the Ghana Armed Forces to continue to help in the fight against galamsey.
All of us owe a great debt of gratitude to you, the men and women of the armed forces, for being prepared to put your lives on the line to keep our nation safe, safeguard our sovereignty, and protect our territorial integrity. As the saying goes, you are the salt of the earth. As government intensifies its efforts to curb the illegal mining phenomenon, otherwise referred to as galamsey, that is polluting our waters, destroying our farmlands and forests, and threatening the very survival of this country, Ghanaians would continue to rely on the services of our security services, with the armed forces in the forefront, to help deal with the problem.
This is the first time in 54 years that the Armored Reconnaissance Regiment is honored for being at the forefront of close to 15 battles.
And President Akufo-Addo is in Monrovia, Liberia for a 2-day working visit. It is the third leg of his West African tour.
The president has completed phase 2 of his tour of the ECOWAS countries, which took him to Togo, Burkina Faso, Cote d'Ivoire, the Gambia, Senegal and Cape Verde. He began in the third phase of his tour by visiting Sierra Leone. The president's visit to these ECOWAS countries is to introduce himself as the new leader of Ghana, deepen bilateral relations between these two countries and restate Ghana's commitment to the ECOWAS project. President Akufo-Addo will later pay official working visits to Nigeria and Benin. During his first leg of the ECOWAS tour, President Akufo-Addo rallied his colleagues to strengthen the regional bloc and give true meaning to the ECOWAS protocol on free movement of goods and persons by promoting open borders in the community. The president was accompanied by the Foreign Affairs Minister, Madam Sherry Ayokobuchi, and some government officials. At the airport to see off the president's delegation were the vice president, Dr. Mahmoud Baumia. He is expected back home tomorrow and then visit Liberia for a day's visit on Sunday, May 28.
The 2017 International Sheroes Forum for Women has taken place in Accra. The focus was on women empowerment. The Minister for Aviation, Madam Cecilia Dapa, called on women to collaborate with government, civil society and the private sector to address the biases and forces that hinder gender equality.
This year's International Sheroes Forum brought together women leaders in politics, business, governance and other social sectors of the economy to discuss ways of empowering women to be successful in their leadership roles to ensure social transformation. The 3 days forum drew over 150 women leaders across the country. The theme for this year is empowering women to be successful in business and political leadership. The Minister for Aviation, Madam Cecilia Dapa, said women must recognize the power of ratified agreements to bring about legislative change.
In order to be truly successful in our goal for equality, our activities need to be matched by a responsive and effective government. It is only when citizens work in unison with the state that commitments made on women's rights can be comprehensively achieved.
The former Vice President of Zimbabwe, Madam Joyce Mujuru, described women as their own liberators in that, in a democracy, women wield the bargaining chip and power to determine their fate by virtue of their numbers.
For to empower a woman is to empower a community. The hope of dignified communities lies with the empowered women. I know we have waited for long, waiting for salvation to come from men. But I'm here to tell you, woman, you can do it for yourself and for your fellow women. The time is now to catch on the tide.
The former First Lady of the River State in Nigeria, Madam Dami Judith Amaichi, called on women to unite and support one another.
I always will tell my women in my own small meetings, whenever you're coming into a hall to deliberate on a meeting, can we just forget all our personal differences and just bury it at the door? Sometimes I say bury it at the gates and bury the remaining ones that are just pinching you at the door, and let's just decide that this is what we want to do as women and this is how forward we want to move. Because at the end of the day, it's like differences, the issues, not liking each other, not understanding each other because I'm reasoning that this one is more dressed than this one, and all those silly things really kind of stop us from getting to where we're going.
Now,
an African Union study reveals it will cost the Ghanaian economy $2.6 billion annually if the nation is to improve the nutritional status of children. This figure translates to almost 7% of Ghana's GDP. The government of Canada and the World Food Programme have responded to the need with the launch of an enhanced nutrition program at Jasi Pamso in the Ashanti region.
The Enhanced Nutrition and Value Chain (ENVAC) is an integrated agriculture and nutrition value project which link 10,000 smallholder farmers to 2 industrial agro-food processing companies. The production cells will produce fortified blended foods to improve nutrition among women and children. In addition, 30 small-scale women will be trained to produce safe, nutritious foods in the communities. The acting representative and country director of the World Food Programme (WFP), Magdalena Owusu-Moshie, noted that the primary goal of the WFP in Ghana is to support the government to meet its commitment to achieve food security. She said, in pursuit of this goal, the WFP has engaged the J.A. Kufuor Foundation, which, in collaboration with the government, is undertaking the Ghana Zero Hunger Strategic Review to identify the gaps facing the country in the area of food security. Madame Owusu-Moshie noted that since WFP began providing assistance to Ghana in the 1960s, its work has continuously evolved in tandem with the progress of the country, adding that under the WFP local procurement model, they buy food in the country for distribution to areas in need.
Currently, most of our programs have transitioned to use cash-based transfer, which we put money directly into local community market using vouchers, which engages private sector, food suppliers or processors.
The Canadian High Commissioner, Heather Cameron, said malnutrition, which is most prevalent in the northern parts of the country, limits the capacity of women and girls to reach their full potential.
For Canada, the empowerment of women and girls, including through improved nutrition, is one of our top priorities. The project we're celebrating here today demonstrates an important fact: that Ghana already has many of the tools it needs to meet its food security and nutritional challenges.
A Deputy Minister for Food and Agriculture, Mr. George Odru, noted that the ministry sees the initiative as a bold step towards national targets on food security and optimum nutrition for disadvantaged Ghanaians.
The choice of crops are in tandem with our policies, and the production of maize and soybean are being intensified to meet the caloric needs production of maize and soybean of the populace, as well as provide protein for both women and livestock. This is the Planting for Food and Jobs campaign to ensure raw materials availability.
The launch of ENVAC saw WFP and food processors sign a memorandum of understanding. The occasion was also used to cut the sod for the building of a new food processing factory at Kwasu in the Edrisu-Drabin municipality.
Now, the Ashanti Regional Minister, Mr. Simon Osei-Mensah, has suggested that roads to be constructed should meet additional criteria. He said a road can only be said to have been done after it has met all engineering criteria.
The minister inspected about 15 roads to obtain first-hand information about the condition of roads in the Ashanti region. Amongst the areas he inspected are Kumasi Town roads, Ichuma, Kwamuma, Konongo, Agogo, Ifijase, Kumeu and Onye. He was accompanied by the regional directors of the departments of feeder roads as well as urban roads. Mr. Osei-Mensah suggested the upgrading of reshaped roads into bitumen surfacing to prolong their lifespan. He spoke strongly against the construction of what he calls political roads. The regional minister expressed satisfaction with the quality of work done on road projects inspected, except for a few which had challenges. He was optimistic that the defects will be corrected as soon as possible.
As soon as it rains, the deterioration is quite fast. And we are now in the raining season. The rain started in April. We had enough rains in April, and we've had a lot also in May. So the rate of deterioration is quite fast. That is why on some of the roads, you realize that even though they have been reshaping, it looks as if not much work has been done.
Earlier, The Regional Director of Department of Feeder Roads, Mr. Peter Kwesi Yelson, briefed GBC24 on the bitumen surfacing of Santase Apire Bebu Feeder Road in the Twima Kwanwuma district of Ashanti. The project is being financed by the Ghana Road Fund.
It's still the news live on GBC24 and GTV, still to come in this package.
Coming up also in this bulletin, the sale of Kobe picks up at Adabraka Market. In some health news, National Blood Service launches blood safety information systems. Later in sports, Coach Kwesi Appiah announces a 30-man squad for 2019 African Cup of Nations qualifying match against Ethiopia. And on the international front, gunmen kill 28 persons in attack on Coptic Christians in central Egypt.
We'll be back shortly. Do stay with us.
Welcome back. Over 100 million Ghana cedis has been declared as dividend by the Board of Directors of GCB. This means each share will attract a dividend of 38 pesos, up from the 2015 figure of 33 pesos, representing a 15% growth. The Chief Financial Officer of GCB Bank, Mr. Socrates Afram, attributed the increment to the increased rate in customer deposit.
With a total number of 101 branches across the country, GCB Bank's performance improved significantly in the year under review. In the year 2016, the bank's profit before tax stood at 467 million, up 29%, and profit after tax also stood at 318 million, representing 25%. From 2015, the bank's total assets grew from 4.7 billion to 6.1 billion cedis in 2016, representing a 30% increment of 1.4 billion cedis. Operating income jumped from 863 million in 2015 to 1.1 billion in 2016, thus recording 24% growth year-on-year. At the bank's 23rd annual general meeting, shareholders were informed that the bank's 5-year strategic plan, which focused on modernity, market share growth and enhancing shareholder value, ends this year. The new board chairman of GCB Bank, Mr. Jude Kofi Arthur, said the bank has drawn a new 3-year strategic plan with focus on people, process, sales and service, growth and profitability. He spoke about the remuneration increment, which was disagreed by shareholders, even though it has not seen any upward adjustment since 2013.
The board proposes fees. The board is appointed by the shareholders to run the affairs of the company, and therefore for all key issues, as stated in law, it must come to the shareholders for approval. And the directors did the right thing by looking at the economy and proposing benchmarks for approval by the shareholders. The shareholders in their wisdom looked at it and felt by show of hands that they would not approve it. So when this happens, you take the decision from the shareholders in good faith and then make another proposal to them. It's all in the interest of the company and the shareholders.
The Chief Financial Officer of GCB Bank, Mr. Socrates Afram, said the increase in dividend from 33 pesos to 38 pesos reflects the bank's practice of giving good returns on shareholders' investment.
Going forward, what we are going to focus on is do a lot more treasury services that more or less have been a little dormant over the years. In the chairman's report, he did indicate that the revamping of our treasury services department is almost complete. I'm sure by June we should start that full service of treasury, and going forward you are going to see a lot of income coming from that angle. But the history mainly was growth in customer deposits. Trade is another area going forward we are going to focus on.
The year under review also saw GCB renovating the Accident and Orthopedic Center of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital at a cost of 50,000 Ghana cedis and funded the Typhoid Research Project at a cost of 30,000 Ghana cedis.
It was all smiles when GBC24 visited the Adabraka market in Accra because traders dealing in salted fish or Kobe say demand for the commodity is gradually picking up. A couple of months ago, news spread that some fishmongers were using a chemical called formalin to preserve salted fish. A caveat by a doctor that the procedure could cause cancer in consumers saw a drop in Kobe sales.
Tilapia seasoned with salt is a delicacy in Ghana and is popularly referred to as Kobe. Foods that go handy with Kobe are ampisi, palm nuts or granule soup. Apart from these dishes, Kobe can also be used for banku and okra stew among others. The demand for Kobe is high, not only on the local markets but also in abroad. Ghana earns hundreds of thousands of dollars from the export of Kobe to Europe and the North American market, including the US and Canada. Though expensive on the foreign market, it is one of the affordable commodities on the market locally. And the visit to the Adabraka market in Accra indicates that with as low as 1 Ghana cedi, one can get Kobe to complement his or her MPC. Until recently, the Kobe market was doing very well, but a statement by the Minister for Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation, Professor Frimpong Boateng, that some traders have been using formalin to preserve the fish affected the business. Professor Frimpong Boateng hinted that Kobe with traces of formalin hardly attracts housefly, and that is not good for consumption because formalin causes cancer. On the one hand, Kobe that attract houseflies are good for consumption. The news brought fear that's driving away most consumers. Fishmongers at the Adabraka market denied ever using formalin to preserve the Kobe. To assure customers of using only salt to preserve Kobe, they opened the jaws of the tilapia. According to fishmongers, now business is gradually picking up because customers have realized that Kobe is safe for consumption. The Queen Mother at the Adabraka market is Madame Rejoice Abla Momita.
Demand has started increasing. We sell more nowadays.
Another trader, Patience Abena, urged customers to change their negative perception about Kobe and buy more of it. Our Kobe has always been safe for consumption. Please come and buy more. For now, the fishmongers at the Adabraka market are hoping that all the losses incurred in the last couple of months when the alleged formalin news broke out will be recovered. However, they urge their colleagues across the country not to use any unapproved chemical to preserve the tilapia, else it will affect the Kobe markets in general.
In other news, the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries and major non-OPEC oil-producing nations have agreed to extend their cuts in crude oil output until March of next year. This was the outcome of Thursday's meeting held at OPEC headquarters in Vienna, Austria.
Participants agreed on the 9-month extension, citing the need to ease the glut of supply. The cuts originally were to finish at the end of June. At a separate meeting with OPEC members, leading non-OPEC countries including Russia agreed on the extension. The agreement is apparently in line with a similar deal struck between Saudi Arabia and Russia on May 15. OPEC and non-OPEC nations implemented the reductions in January to raise crude prices, but a rise in oil prices has been capped by expansion of shale oil production in the U.S. Observers say the same cycle may occur again, clouding the prospects for higher crude prices.
On the interbank market, the pound is selling at 5 cedis 57 pesos. The US dollar at 4 cedis 30 pesos, and the euro is also trading at 4 cedis 81 pesos. Up next is the board. The price of light crude on the commodities market increased by 30 cents to close trading at $49.20 per barrel. Cocoa saw an upward adjustment of $18, trading at $1,895 per ton. Price of gold, on the other hand, remained unchanged, selling at $1,255.80 an ounce. And that is for the business segment, brought to you by NIB and Ernest Chemist. Coming up is the health segment. Please do stay.
News. This is the health segment brought to you by Yamvita and FPAC. In the details, the National Blood Service Ghana, together with its development partners, has launched the Blood Safety Information Systems. The system is to track blood donors' results and improve laboratory quality. Ghana is the second African country, apart from Lesotho, to have implemented this new blood information system.
The Blood Safety Information System, BSIS, is an electronic information management system developed by the U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, together with Jambi Health Systems, NPC, from South Africa. The system will track blood donor information from the point of donation through laboratory testing, processing, storage and distribution to health facilities. It also has capacity to exclude blood donors based on HIV status and track blood donor infectious diseases. Since 2010, the U.S. President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief, PEPFAR, has invested approximately $1.7 million in strengthening blood safety services in Ghana. With this support, the National Blood Service Ghana, NBSG, has significantly improved the quality of blood services in Ghana. The U.S. Ambassador, Robert Jackson, said a safe, reliable supply of blood and blood products is critical to achieving an AIDS-free generation.
Safe, reliable blood saves lives. The lives of mothers after childbirth, the lives of accident victims, the lives of patients undergoing surgery. When we effectively manage information across the blood service, we improve health outcomes.
The Senior Programs Manager of Jambi Health Systems, NPC, Mr. Carl Fori, said about 25 to 30% of maternal deaths can be avoided if there is adequate and reliable blood supply at all times. A Deputy Minister of Health, Madam Tina Mensah, expressed appreciation to the U.S. government and the Jambi Health System for the intervention.
As a ministry, we believe in the Senate of partnership and alliances in the provision of universal health care. And as such, we shall continue to create the congenial environment for our existing and potential partners to work in concert in achieving the sustainable development goal.
According to the Chief Executive of the National Blood Service Ghana, Dr. Justina Ansah, from 2010 to 2016, the National Blood Service Ghana increased its annual blood collections from 140,000 units to more than 160,000 units and decreased the prevalence of HIV seropositive blood donations to a low of 1.2%. About 55% of blood donations collected last year by the Southern Area Blood Center also came from low-risk, voluntary and unpaid donors, an improvement from previous years. The new blood information system is expected to be implemented in all the blood centers across the country. For GBC24, Mavis Ofe Champon reporting.
Also in health segment, the 25-year-old Joel Opata is suffering from a salivary gland tumor, according to the head of the maxillofacial unit of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, Dr. Matthew Wama. Some of these conditions have the tendency of recurring while the cause is not known.
Joel has a salivary gland tumor which falls under non-odontogenic tumor emanating from the parotid glands, one of the glands that produces saliva. The swell started about 2 years ago. He has undergone a surgery, but the condition has recurred. The head of the oral and maxillofacial unit of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, Dr. Matthew Wama, said this condition is not cancerous, but some can degenerate into cancers.
We've done biopsy for him. We did a true cut biopsy, and it came out as a pleomorphic adenoma, which is one of the commonest also salivary gland tumors we deal with. It is not cancerous yet, but some of them can become cancerous after they've been there for a long time.
Dr. Wama said the cause of some of these tumors are mostly not known, but their mechanisms are known.
This has been done before, but it recurred. But we've done a second biopsy and it's still a benign condition. It's still the pleomorphic adenoma. But some of these pleomorphic adenoma can change to become a malignant condition. So it's referred to as carcinoma S pleomorphic adenoma. After a long period of this condition, for over 10 years, they can transform to become malignant. So he also needs surgery, and that is why we are preparing him for this procedure.
Joel will go through what is known as maxillofacial treatment since part of his face has been affected.
So for his in particular, there are other complications that are associated with this surgery is that we call the nerve that help us to give a facial expression, called the facial nerve, is running through this gland, and that's a risk in doing this operation. You may encounter this nerve and the disease might have already even infiltrated the nerve. So later after the procedure they have facial paralysis, and which we can refer them to the physiotherapy people to help us to correct those paralysis. So that is a complication that is associated with his surgery. And because of that, it takes a long time. We need to dissect around the nerve to get the tumor out. So their surgery usually takes a long time. We need to be extremely careful to get the nerves out before we can take the disease out.
According to Dr. Wama, Joel needs about 3,000 Ghana cedis to undergo the second surgery. All assistance can be sent through mobile money account 054 2691 970.
Let's talk sports. I'm Theophilus Sampa. We kick off on a footballing note where Coach Chrissy Appiah has announced a 30-man squad for the 2019 Africa Cup of Nations qualifying match against Ethiopia. 7 locally based players have been handed call-ups into the senior national team. This is the first major collapse since Kwesi Appiah returned as head coach of the Black Stars. While Stars goalie Richard Ofori, Kotokos Felix, and Aduana Stars Joseph Edu have all been named in the squad, as well as Hearts of Oak midfielder Winfrey Kobna and Aduana Stars defender Daniel Dakwa. Liberty Professionals skipper Samuel Safo has also been handed a call-up, with Nicholas Opoku also named in the squad, as coach Kwesi Appiah expects to use these matches to grant opportunities to new players to showcase their talent. Also in the 30-man squad are new faces as Lumo Agbenyenu, Isaac Saki, Kingsley Safo and Thomas Ajapon. The AFCON qualifiers has been scheduled for Sunday, June 11 at the Babara Sports Stadium in Kumasi. The team will travel 2 weeks later to the United States of America, where the Black Stars will face Mexico in Houston, Texas on June 28 and USA in Connecticut on July 1. The team is expected to assemble in Accra next Monday to begin preparations for next month's assignment. Still on football, Dansoman-based Liberty Professionals defender Samuel Safo has described his call-up into the Black Stars as a privilege. Safo has been rewarded for his outstanding start to the Ghana Premier League with a call-up into the Black Stars ahead of next month's Cup of Nations qualifier against Ethiopia, as well as 2 high-profile international friendlies against USA and Mexico. Samuel Safo is one of the 7 locally based players to be handed a place in coach Kwesi Appiah's side ahead of the triple header. The defender was in action for the Black Stars B team in an international friendly against Benin at the Accra Sports Stadium on Thursday. Safo scored 6 goals for the Dansoman-based Liberty Professional side in the first half of the Ghana Premier League.
Your colleague here just, bring the news to me, so I have no idea about that. My concentration was with the local blasters. That was what I had in mind, you understand. So I think I will switch it on from now. There are so many things. We are in a learning process, as my coach said. We've been in camp for just 6 days. Yeah, we've been training for just 6 days, and then we are putting in a lot of effort to combine with the tactics and all that. I think it wasn't bad, being our first game, our second game, so I think we are on course. With time things will be better.
There's still stake with football, where the second round of the Ghana Premier League begins this weekend at the various league centers across the country. Here are the fixtures for March Day 16. At the Accra Sports Stadium, Hearts of Oak will play Liberty Professionals. At the Awak Sports Stadium, Inter Allies will tackle Wafa. At the Takwa TNA Park, Medium IC will be facing Bolga Stars. And at the Cape Coast Stadium, Mysterious Illusion Dwarfs will face Elmina Sharks. At Wawa Stars will take on Ash Gold. Doma Idiana Stars will lock horns with Bichim United. And at the Brecum Golden City Park, Accra Great Olympics will be facing Brecum Chelsea, and then Tema Youth will take on Kumasi Asante Kotoko. The second edition of the Women's FA Cup competition kicks off tomorrow at the various league centers. Defending champions Police Ladies will begin this season's competition as guests of our ladies. The second edition of the Sanford World Clinic Women's FA Cup competition kicks off this Saturday and Sunday across the country. Defending champions, the Ghana Police Ladies, will open the account with a tricky away clash with our ladies. Here are the fixtures for round of 32. In the Northern Zone, Kumasi Future Ladies will tackle Dreams Ladies. Royal Upper Ladies will welcome Kandi Soccer Academy Ladies. Tiamba Ladies will face Lepo Ladies. Fabulous Ladies will welcome Ampim Dakua Ladies. Ashtown Ladies will lock horns with Kungu Maidens. Kumasi Soccer Academy then welcomes Northern Ladies. Supreme Ladies will face Prison Ladies, and Danishali Ladies will battle Bolga Ladies. In the Southern Zone, Annual Ladies will welcome defending champions Police Ladies. Soccer Intellectuals will settle matters with Samria Ladies. House Sports Ladies will take on Faith Ladies. Lady Strikers will battle Hazakes Ladies. Combined Forces will welcome Army Ladies. Immigration Ladies will face also Crete ladies. Halifax ladies will take on Holy Royals, whilst Glo Agogo ladies will face Elmina Sea Lions. That's all for sports.
You're welcome back. The entertainment segment is brought to you by Cowbell. Tourism is the third highest foreign exchange earner in the country. One of the major contributors is beach resorts. The entertainment team highlights some of the resorts in Sakumono.
A normal holiday will see beach lovers drive to the Labadi beach to enjoy the sea breeze and swim. Beach resorts are gradually becoming popular in Sakumono. A number of these resorts can be located at Sakumono, which are increasingly becoming attractive to people. This is one of the resorts on the waterfront. The view from the resort allows patrons to see docked ships at the Tema Harbor. Franklin General said people have become attracted to the place because it is close to them and they can have fun without being bothered about crowd. Some patrons also shared why they prefer the place to the popular Labadi beach.
We chose this place because the place was kind of cool. The place is very colorful. When you turn back, you can see the greens. You have a place to relax. For me, I see this place to be a place where you can also have some kind of privacy. The place is kind of cool, yeah.
Beach lovers who live near new beach resorts will no longer have to drive long distances to traditional spots. They have alternatives.
Now, ever watched Nigerian musician Agnes Eros follow the ladder to heaven video? The arts segment brings you different renditions of the video.
This is the original Follow the Ladder to Heaven video. It appears all one needs for this challenge is a ladder. Then you can follow. Where there is no ladder, others improvise.
Follow the ladder. Follow the ladder.
For something that started as a mockery of the music video, Follow the Ladder to Heaven continues to enjoy increasing number of views on YouTube.
And that's all in the segment brought to you by Cowbell.
Thanks for watching. Do enjoy your weekend.
Thank you, Felicity, for that update on the weather. And thank you at home for watching the news. We'll be back at 10 with a late edition.
Good evening.